Hello, everyone. Once again, we are back, The Covert, with a special edition. We saw this episode and we could not wait. We could not wait to bring this to you. Normally we talk Bad Batch, but we're going to save that for the following week and then we'll catch up. But right now, we're only going to talk about the Mines of Mandalore, which is the latest episode that's dropped. The 48-hour ban is gone. Gentlemen, where do we start? Dakar. Give me your overall impressions, and then let's you take us where you want us to go on this one.
Okay, so general impression, overall impression, without getting into any bit of the actual show. I was melted. The ending scene crushed me. I mean, it did. I was just over the top with it. The entire episode was just twist, turn. Okay. Oh, what? Oh, damn. Hold up. I need to rewind that. Did I really just see that? Hold up. Okay, watch it again. Oh, my God. No. Dude, probably one of, if not my favorite episode of every season. Just that's what this one was.
Damn, okay. Sigh.
I honestly, I gotta say, I like. My favorite part was the more Bo-Katan and Din Djarin. We got to see a lot more, communication between the two, and it looks like they're going to be a lot more involved with each other, going forward with the whole show. I really like that, and of course, there's the one big scene at the end that I want to talk about, but not right this second. I'm pretty sure everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about here, without exception. It's but yeah, I just loved how they did the whole relationship between them going forward, and that scene right there at the end.
Okay, I thought Bo-Katan, and I mean, this is the guy in me sitting up on that throne. I was like, wow, that's pretty hot. You know what I mean? I love the way she was sprawled out, leg up. But that was nothing compared to when she started walking out of her ship with all that armor on, guns at her side. You know what I mean? I was just like, man, I never wanted to be a gunslinger more in my life. After looking at her like that, I was just like, man, that's it.
Yeah, no,
she had that look down.
Yeah, no offense to Katie Sackhoff or anyone else, but she looked incredible at every angle, with the helmet on or off. She just did a great job portraying the whole body language, that confidence in her stride when she first came out of that ship, to her she instantly knew something was wrong as soon as she saw Grogu. I mean, yeah, she did a great job. I really loved it for her.
I mean, I thought it was great, then of course, you get the questions of why is she so much better with the Darksaber than Din, and I was like, well, first of all, she's had it before.
Yeah. She's trained with it.
Yeah, she's had it before, That's what I want to see. I want to know well, we know Gideon gets it. Does she surrender the saber to Gideon? I mean, he could just walk in with troopers and be like, hand it over. You know what I mean? She's gonna have to hand it up. That would be more humiliating, in my opinion.
Or if he threatened to, glass her entire planet if she didn't hand it over. Which, of course, you know what? As bad as as bad as everything happened, I believe she really does love her people. She
Oh, yeah.
loves, she really loves that, and she would give it up to save her people. But of course, Gideon probably wouldn't honor any deal he made ever,
Oh, no, no, no. Nah.
or he just found it in rubble or in someone's dead hands.
Well, I mean, she was the last one with it, so I don't think it was in anybody's hands but hers. And I mean, she was hell bent in season 2 to get. I mean, where is he? She wanted it. She wanted it bad, because I can still remember seeing in episode 1 when all of a sudden he carved it out of that TIE fighter, and I was like, oh, I don't think that. And I saw it. I was like, oh my God, the Darksaber. And that just boom. Then, of course, she, seeing Gideon and, Gideon kind of smiling like, yeah, oh, she can't take it. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh. And then you have the armorer telling the story. Bo-Katan is a tragic tale. She was gifted the sword when she should have won it in battle, and that doomed the Mandalorian people.
Mm.
Just an awesome, the way everything is being set up is just great. And did you guys notice they took the Kylo Ren out of the beginning? Remember with all the helmets and all that
didn't
other
notice
stuff?
that at all. I didn't. Not
Yeah.
I
until
did.
you told me. Not until you
Bro,
told me.
they took it out. You know what that means, don't you?
Yeah, there might be some
People
retconning
stuff
going on.
over there.
Yeah.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, I mean, I got to tell you guys, I was, and it's, we're all, the car is in a different time frame. He's an hour behind us. And, of course, it's, 3 o'clock in the morning, which means it's 2. The car is probably still tossing and turning. I wanted to text him so damn bad. Dude, I wanted to text him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just an awesome episode. I want that ship now. I gotta have that ship that she has. I thought it was a Fang fighter, but they called it something else. So, see who that is.
Yeah, see who that is. Facebook user.
Let me see. Must be in the Priory.
Mm.
Yeah, guess who it is? It's Rodney. From
I was going to say, it's
Luchador.
Rodney. As soon as I saw Bros, I should have known it was Rod.
Luchadors.
It's our buddy. It is our brother from Cali.
Well, at the end of the month, I'm going to be sending Simon his shot glasses. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
Rodney. I gotta send that out. But so we get this whole thing. R5. What were your thoughts about R5?
Oh my God.
I kind of loved him. I wasn't sure if it was the same R5 as in A New Hope. It'd be funny if it is.
It is, bro. It is. It's R5
Yes.
from A New Hope.
Oh my gosh. That guy has been abused. In the original BBC broadcast, it was actually R2D2 who sabotaged R5.
Yeah.
I listened to it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
He sabotaged him so that he would get picked by Luke Skywalker. I felt bad for the little guy. But at the same time, he's been in the hands of Jawas for so long. He's probably been terrified his entire life.
But you know what they did? They have this thing, and if you can get it on Audible. It's called A Certain Point of View, and they tell the story of R5. And when you talk about bro, you hit the nail right on the head there. This poor droid. The horror and suspense components. No other Star Wars film has depicted it like that, and this episode did. Okay, Rodney. All right. We're going to get to that. But in A Certain Point of View, they talk about how, R2 did what he did to to R5, and it was just so funny, that I mean, like Simon said, it's bad, but I mean, this poor little droid is bad. But the horror and suspense component of this episode. So this is what Rodney wants to talk about. Let's open that up. Your thoughts on that? The car.
Okay, so the horror suspense. I'm pretty sure he is talking about the creature down in the cave that captures Din. General Grievous character without being Grievous. Sticking the tube in him and starting to pump his fluids out. That, yeah, talk about horror-esque movie style right there. That was, again, I don't say it lightly when I say my favorite episode thus far in the series, because everyone knows I am a huge Fett fan. Yeah. I love Fett. For him coming in and destroying the crap that he did, pot roast Mando, that's funny. Oh my God.
That's good.
But for, Fett destroying everything like he did getting his armor back, this episode had so many different aspects to it that it really blew my mind away. And that horror aspect was one of them, because that's something we don't see in any of the Star Wars sagas. It doesn't matter which one it is. You do not see that type of villainy to where you're watching somebody's life fluids be drained out of their body by some absolute demonic looking robotic that has some organic to it, which is why it reminds me of Grievous. And you had sent me that article, Calibus, about that, and as soon as I read the header of that, I went, yeah, that does make a lot of sense. That is a Grievous style character. Yeah. Holy Jesus.
Sai?
Okay, not to counter anything that Eric said, the horror suspense, I think in that one Bad Batch episode with Metamorphosis was a little bit better. With the whole creeping through the ship, hearing the sounds, seeing the drip of fluids from the ceiling, that was better. I'm not saying that, it wasn't good in Mandalorian. I just think the Bad Batch did it a little bit better with the horror suspense. Now, with that creature, it kind of looked like a Dianoga, from A New Hope, that trash compactor creature. Even though those things aren't sentient, because all you see is that big eye, and there is that General Grievous character. It's kind of making me wonder, who is that? What is that? How is it surviving for so long? Oh, it's grabbing whatever it can find and draining it of fluid. And it's almost like a spider with all its legs making that trap. And then grabbing whoever comes by, whether it's those other being creatures that have survived Mandalore's destruction. I was like, okay, that was pretty good. It reminded me a lot of not the Lord of the Rings, but the one after it, where all the dwarves are in the mountain and they go into that trap where they go into the goblins.
Right.
Where the goblins are waiting for them, and they set the trap and they fall down. It reminded me a lot of that.
Well, there's a theory that you remember the Mandalorian commandos that were loyal to the Empire.
Yeah.
There's a theory that the Empire did that to them to make them stay there, lay in wait for anybody that would come back to Mandalore. And that's the reason why they kept saying that it was cursed, it was poisoned, that because nobody ever came back.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was
hear
the article that Calibus had sent me on. And if you once you read that and you go back and you just watch that part, it really makes a lot of horrific nightmares
Yeah.
come true right there. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, imagine that you're well, one, you're betraying your own, and then they modify you to be basically a booby trap, a trapdoor spider, like
Yeah.
Simon said, and if any Mandalorians come down there looking for whatever, they take them, But I have to admit though, when he stuck that needle in him and was draining his fluids, I was like, man, that's sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was really taken back by that.
It reminded me of a Star Trek Enterprise episode when that Enterprise and the Captain Archer came across a species that was like they were an alien species that had captured a civilian vessel, and they had all the beings in these containers, and they had all the fluids draining out of them in order to eat them later on. It reminded me a lot of that. It was really good atmosphere. Really good atmosphere.
Well, I'm telling you, another thing that I like is like when they show Din with the Darksaber, he's kind of vicious with it. The first time we see him is in Mandalorian 2.0, cutting into Boba series. He slices the dude in half. Then he cuts the one, he pushes the sword in halfway in, and then throws the dude off the hill there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but when Bo-Katan gets it, it's all shoom. Limb sliding under the belly, cutting the beast, raising back up. And the classiest thing that she did, she set all his weapons back down there while she sat there and made that little stuff. And I was like, that's some class.
Yes, because I was like, oh my gosh, is she gonna just hold on to it? And she didn't. She placed it right there to see if he wanted it back or not. And I was like, okay, that shows that she's not willing to play dirty tricks.
Yeah.
That shows a lot more honor on her part than a lot of people are giving her credit for.
Yeah, I think so. Matter of fact, you guys know I had lunch with Miss Liz today, and I gave her a little Bo-Katan because she was like, Bo-Katan's got to get off her ass and really do something. And when I heard little Miss Liz say that, and then when she saw the episode, she was like, I'm so glad she saved him twice. I was like, yes, she did. So she was happy to get that. We have a in our store, we've got that Bo-Katan shirt.
I loved how that one came out too.
That one came out
that's pretty cool looking.
That one came out excellent. I almost want to order one again for a bigger one for me, because I'm going to see her on the 24th, 25th, and 26th at the convention. I've got a photo op with her, and I will be having the Priory gear on. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna have that Priory gear on when we do that. What is this? Right, for a second there, I thought she said pork soup.
So did I, dude. I for half a second I was like, wait a minute. I've watched it 2 other times, and I was like, okay, no, that's not what she said.
Look, I would have loved for Chewbacca to tore into that little porg. I didn't care that they were sitting there looking sympathetic.
Right?
You should have been into that bad boy.
Yeah. Hey, stop, because you're going to get the first lady of fandom upset. You keep talking about eating porg.
Miss Liz loves her porg.
She love her little porgs, man. You're going to upset that little woman.
Especially deep fried.
I don't want to see her mad.
So, all right, guys, look, this is not going to be a long thing, so let's just get to it. Bo-Katan saves him twice. We see the boy taking the creed and everything else, and it was interrupted. And then Din takes off his cloak, his weapons, sets them all down, starts reciting the creed, and then boom. I personally think he slips down. He's going down
off.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of debate going on right now online.
There's too much debate on it, because if he was yanked under, you would have seen ripple effect on the top of the water, and it would have been a lot different. It would have been a different type of scenario.
Yeah,
because you've got him stepping forward, and then he's gone.
Yeah,
like he done stepped off the sidewall. And when she does go in to get him, she's going in right off and diving in like she already knows it's there.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought so, that's the way I looked at it too. And then of course, she grabs him and she's coming up, and then there's that scene. He hit the eye opens up and everything else, and I was just like, whoa. That was the scene that sent me over the edge. You know what I mean? And I was like, God, the bad thing is there's nobody I can. Did you see that? You know what I mean? Because my boys are asleep. You guys have to get up and do some stuff. So immediately, of course, in the morning, I get the text. Well, we get the text, Dakar side. I saw it. I saw it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, man, I was just like
messing with Eric. Oh, yeah.
Dude, just the fact to see that. And now they can usher in a whole new era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can usher in a whole new era. Because the sequels take place 30 years after Return of the Jedi. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
So we don't even have to mess with that. Just the fact that they have what they have. And I found this out today too. The pirate is supposed to be in the Skeleton Crew series. He's supposed to be the big bad for the Skeleton series. And if that's the case, I don't know if I can take that seriously, because
I won't be able to take that seriously.
I'm a little lost. The pirate?
Okay, so the pirate, Veggie the Hutt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Instead of,
silly, but from what I understand, it is supposed to be for kids, though. A little bit more focused towards kids.
Yeah,
so that would be kind of funny.
But you're giving me a Power Ranger villain, okay?
Yeah, true. Yes, exactly.
You're giving me a Power Ranger villain.
100% correct on that. Yeah, you were right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting there going, I'm not going to be able to watch that show. I see it already, and if this is the level that you're bringing me, and people are going to be going "arr" all the time, I mean, come on, really? You're really scraping the barrel with this.
Yeah, Star Wars Resistance was bad enough. I watched it just because it's Star Wars and it gave me a nice little insight into a couple of details. But it was hard watching the main character act so stupid and silly. It's like, okay, I know it's kids, but I watched Pirates of Dark Water, and that show was awesome compared to Star Wars Resistance. They didn't act stupid and silly.
Okay, look, we got Rodney.
Yeah.
The and the Rancor together.
I was thinking the same thing, Rodney. I was thinking something very similar.
Me and you discussed this one already, Cal.
Yeah.
We really can't have Din be the one to do anything with the Mythosaur or Grogu. Cal, would you like to explain why?
Okay, so if Bo-Katan wants to be the leader of Mandalore, according to myth, the first Mandalore tamed the Mythosaur, and that's where they get their namesake and everything else for, and why he's the ruler of Mandalore. So she could do that without having to take the Darksaber. That would rally her people.
Yeah.
And Din could still have the Darksaber. Okay. Now, the only thing is she's got to do it. There can't be no Grogu putting the mythosaur to sleep.
Yeah.
Because that would be twice that Din and Grogu have messed her over from becoming the leader of Mandalore. Now, somebody else said that they think that the Armorer might really be the hidden bad guy in all of this. I'm not so sure I believe that. I think the Armorer really wants to restore the way of the old, but the Children of the Watch, I don't know if all the Mandalorians want to follow that lead anymore. Not take off their helmets.
That's
I mean,
restrictive.
look at Bo-Katan. She's comfortably with removing her helmet. And remember, she said that they were only a small group of zealots who wanted to restore Mandalore to the way it was. And if that's the case, they know the myth of the mythosaur. If there's a mythosaur there and Bo-Katan tames it,
yeah,
she's got the right to rule,
which would put and could put the Children of the Watch as the bad faction. I mean, it could make that whole faction the bad guys.
Yeah.
And we've already seen some of the armor that they've got is not exactly Mandalorian armor. I mean,
wasn't there one guy that had like stormtrooper armor?
Yeah, there was one guy that literally had stormtrooper armor on. I'm sorry. What?
Well, I mean, Beskar is hard to come by. Not only that, but as long as you got your helmet and you get this makeshift armor, this is why I some of the groups that are out there, not knocking them, you know what I mean? I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want anybody getting pissed at the Priory. But they have this strict code that you have to have this and you have to have that, where you have things like the groups that we associate ourselves with, that as long as you have your bucket and you have some armor, you're good to go. You know what I mean? Do what you have to do. And that's kind of what the Children of the Watch are doing. Grab what you can for your armor. And the Mandalorian historian had said that he said it was like a bunch of cosplayers because the armor wasn't all that together, which again, I love, because again, they're outcasts. They're a small set or sect of Mandalorians that follow this creed, just like the Priory is a small set of Mandalorians and we follow our own way. So overall though, this episode was just everything that you wanted in learning about the Mandalorian culture and trying to, but they're just, these 38-minute shows are pissing me off because I'm sitting there going, I know it ain't over yet. Please don't be over. And it's over.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So this next episode is supposed to be like 58 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And
supposedly, if it is, I'm gonna be happy. I'm just gonna be happy.
Look, I really want to do, when this season is over, sometime this summer, I really want to kind of do a private watch party.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I would be done with that.
And we can just, either go through, or do a couple Saturdays where we're sitting around. We can take the audio as we're doing it and maybe download it to our Spotify Anchor station so everybody can hear what's going on and whatever else and do all that. But brothers, I'm telling you, I was so hyped about this, and I know this is a Star Wars show. Go watch Picard, because I'm telling you,
I agree.
Picard had me just
I haven't seen this week's.
Me neither.
Okay. So I'm not gonna say anything.
I have said this a few times already. I am a huge Star Wars fan. Picard has finally given me actual hope for Star Trek.
Yeah, season 3.
Yes, season 3. Let's not confuse anything.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
All right. Skip season 1 and 2. It don't matter. It
Sure don't.
just don't even bother. Season 3 gives me hope for Star Trek again. That we have not had, Calvis, me and you haven't had it in too many years.
Yeah.
Too many years now.
It's been a long time. But the Covert will be back next week, and we'll talk about the Bad Batch and this 58-minute episode of The Mandalorian. I want to thank Rodney Santos and Marky Mark for joining us and chiming in. Guys, I can't wait. I'm like a kid in the damn candy store, and I'm like, I want some candy now. Give me back my Mandalorian.
Right.
It was just the stuff. But with that being said, anybody want to say anything before we go?
Yeah, I just want to say, if anyone's really confused, and I know there's a lot of people that are out there about, the Children of the Watch and the Mandalorians and the different aspects of it, it's a lot like a major religion, either it be Judaism, Muslim, or Christianity. With Christianity, you have Protestants, Catholics, Jesuits, Baptists, and a whole slew of other different factions or sects that kind of believe the same cores, but a lot of them have a lot of different hardcore views. And some are a lot more strict than others. And that's the same thing what's going on in Mandalorian. You have some that are more strict. There are some that actually fight within amongst each others. And if you look out throughout history, that's actually happened a lot. And it's the same thing with Mandalorian. So there is a lot of, actual possibility.
So you saying the Children of the Watch are the Catholics of the Mandalorians? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, they could be the Jesuits. You never know. Or they could be the Protestants. You never know.
Dude, Protestant ain't. I'm sorry, most of the Protestants aren't exactly. That strict.
Thank you, Patricia.
Yes, thank you. All right, guys. Then this will wrap it up for our little special edition. We had to talk about it because it was bugging us, and my man Dakar has to work double shifts this weekend, so we couldn't do it this weekend, so we had to sneak it in right now.
Yeah.
With that being said, guys, I say it like I always say it. Follow the creed, trust in the Force.